Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Contest of Speed AM3. As tonight they will be taking on the 5.513 kilometer circuit with 20 corners into DRS zones at the Circuit of the Americas here in Texas. I am the Johnny Damon, and alongside me tonight is Cost Mindset. How we doing tonight, Mindset?
Good man, good. It's a good week. We're in America, Texas, if you will. Looking for a good race. I think we can get a lot of good racing with the long DRS zones and yeah, the quick corners. So hopefully it's going to be a good race.
Absolutely. I don't know if you need to give these guys the green light here. Um, but
Oh no,
yeah,
I gotta.
I'm excited for tonight. The hopefully some wet weather, but the thing about Circuit of Americas is track limits. Very tight in sector 1 through the S's. Um, Very easy to invalidate there in qualifying. But also track limits later in the race, those penalties can definitely hurt you.
Yeah, people just really got to keep it clean, not cut early. Keep your tires on the track, especially through the S's of the first sector. I think that's where most of the penalties are probably going to happen. It's really tight. You gotta keep the car close. Gotta push the limits to really gain all the time through there. So we'll definitely see how many people will uh, invalidate. But here we go, going into qualifying. We'll see what the conditions are like for the race or qualifying. Pardon me. But this should be an interesting race. Looks like it's nice and
Absolutely.
dry.
Ooh, some dry weather here in qualifying. That's good.
Yeah, we can. Guess we'll go over the championship now. We'll go over the constructors first, with Williams still on top after Nick AC's long, what was it, a 5 race win streak. It only says 4 there because one of the races was canceled due to EA servers being horrible, but we all know it was 5. But yeah, Williams up top. Alfa Romeo 63 points behind after Scarlett Fisher. I'm not sure if they're here today. Scored or won in their debut race there with the win. Haas just 1 point behind Alfa Romeo in P3. Alpha Tauri P4. McLaren P5. Ferrari P6. Aston 7. Red Bull 8. Mercedes 9. And Alpine. I thought Alpine scored at 1 point last week, but maybe Bandut. I think he was the driver, right, who got the finished 10th. Maybe he got a penalty there, but hopefully today is the day. So we go to the drivers here. Nick still with a 52-point lead in the championship over Red Arrow. Pablo just behind, both even on 2 wins. Uh, Red Arrow just has that one more P3. Paul 4, SR Frame, Speedy Bullet, M1K, Whitjay, Gru, and Zenki round out your top 10. But yeah, as we see in the chat, Hood Kool-Aid Man says rain, so maybe it looks like it's pretty dry though right now, so maybe it'll be for the race, rain, so that'll definitely spice some things up.
Yeah, the wet weather will definitely spice some things up. And it kind of, I think that's why it took a little bit of time for the first car to come out on track, and that is the Alpine of Bandut. Just some of these folks are probably making some adjustments to their setup for the wet weather in the actual Grand Prix. So I think this will be a very interesting qualifying session. We might not see our typical drivers at the top that are usually running the top five for qualifying. Setups might be a little bit different around the uh, Circuit of the Americas.
Yeah, and looking in the chat, we do have our prediction for this week. Over under 35 and a half seconds in penalties. Now last week in what was it, Portugal, I think I put the over on accident. I was going for the under, but yeah, I think this week I'm gonna go over for the rain. Think it'll be a lot harder for drivers to keep their tires in the track. Yeah, but what's your take on that, Johnny?
I'm definitely gonna go over, especially if there is gonna be rain during the Grand Prix here, um, because it's just gonna be very slippery conditions. But in the meantime, I am riding on board with Bandu as he's making his way through the Sector 1 S curves, getting through pretty smoothly here through Sector 1 split 25 sits, sitting at a purple Sector 1, but he is only the first car through so far. Now he's making his way out of turn 10 down the hill into turn 11, the tight hairpin, before this very long back straight. With the DRS, he's going to open it up in about 20 meters. He's got it wide open. He's got a lot of that battery pretty early here on this lap, heading down into turn 12, heavy on the brakes all the way down
The
into second
first.
gear. First gear, wow. Uses the Apex Purple Sector 2 with a 104 flat through two sectors. Now he's making his way through the very tricky Sector 3 off the exit of turn 15, now through 16, 17, and 18 here of the triple Apex of the right-hander into the penultimate corner of turn 19. Now he's going to make his way towards turn 20 all the way down in second gear or first gear. Off the exit he goes, opens up the DRS 134.9, and then immediately gets topped by SR Frame with a 134.5.
M1K as well. But yeah, looking at Bandut's lap there, he was really edging all of his gears on that lap, getting every single one, I believe. But yeah, he also ran out of ERS pretty early. I think somebody in chat said that he was running it on his out lap, so he'll definitely have a lot of time to gain right there. But looks like we have a huge squabble of cars coming through the start-finish line right now, led by Whit J. We got a Red Bull right behind him of Waffle Raptor, Alpha Tauri, another Red Bull, Aston Martin, a Ferrari. We got like three teams right here, all in one. Definitely. Okay, looks like some drivers are getting out of the way. We'll go with Easy 10, see if he can make his way through this traffic in front of him. But yeah, coming through this section is definitely going to be a killer, I'd say, for most drivers. I'd say maybe almost all of the 35.5 seconds is going to come through Sector 1. Looks like he's right up behind Days Freak, I believe, in the or Rainbow Demon. New driver, not Days Freak anymore. Looks like he's going to be right behind him. I think they might be on a lap as well. Yeah, Easy 10's going to get a good chunk of slipstream here with Rainbow Demon. If Rainbow Demon's on a lap, these guys are going to start racing here on their quali lap. Oh, Easy 10 takes it's. Whoa. Oh, that's not very good.
Yeah, that's not ideal qualifying here. Not exactly sure what Rainbow Demon is doing, but like throughout the lap, they're on and off their battery here. So I'm not exactly sure what they are trying to accomplish, but they were indeed on a lap as they're making their way toward turn 20. But in all honesty, you can't just expect a slower car to get out of your way. In qualifying, that is the whole purpose of making sure you create enough space between you and the car in front, just so you don't get behind them during the qualifying sessions and cause chaos.
Yeah, that was definitely a very interesting moment right there. But yeah, we'll see how. That's already what we're seeing here in the dry and quali and the best conditions. I can only imagine what it's going to be like in the race. But coming around the final corner, we got an Aston Martin of Chipman jumps up to P6 or P7, excuse me, right behind his teammate, just about 4.5 or 4 and a bit hundredths behind his teammate Zenki. with a what is that? A Williams. Nick AC, our championship leader, about to start his lap. We'll go on board with him. Looks like the time in EU4 was a 33.0, so we'll see if our AM3 boys can beat that out here.
Yeah, it would be nice to see them beat the EU4 time. But I mean, it's kind of tricky here. As a lot of them are struggling in this qualifying session. Nick has a purple sector 1 now making his way through turn 9 and then turn 10 and heading down the hill towards the hairpin of turn 11. Gonna not really get on the outlets there, but he's back on the throttle super early, opens up that DRS flap, and now he's making his way down this long straight heading towards turn 12. He's gonna top out at about miles per hour all the way down to third gear. Off the exit he goes, now into the tricky sector of 3, and he's making his way towards turn 15. He goes a little wide, cuts that car back across the track, uses all the apex there. Now through the triple right-hander, he heading towards the penultimate corner of turn 19, and he's going to be looking to put himself at the top of the grid here, qualifying down into turn 20. Off the exit, opens up the DRS, comes across the line with a
Just barely.
133.8, and he does get pulled by 4 hundredths of a second.
Yeah, I was really expecting. I was on board with Nick for most of that lap, and it actually looked really smooth. Looked like he hit a lot of his apexes. He definitely has some that he can still gain a few pieces of time, but I'm not sure if it's almost 9/10ths worth of time in his lap. But who knows with the track evolution here? We still got about almost 9 minutes left in qualifying as Red Arrow, the driver in P2, looks like he's going to be starting his second lap now after his first lap was a 34.3, puts him fourth place. Actually, no, it looks like he's coming in. I think he just set that. We got a Red Bull of man, no, Waffle Raptor. What am I saying?
Mm.
He's going to be on his out lap. Looks like we got a Alpha Tauri of Katie Dog. He's also a new driver, I believe. Sounds familiar. Oh, was gonna go. Okay, I think that was lag right there. Not sure, but
ED10 is working his way through sector 3 right now, getting ready to start his lap.
yeah, he's definitely looks like he definitely has a big enough gap now to where he won't run into a driver in front of him. Um, but yeah, opens up his DRS coming up the long hill right here. Got to spot your braking right. Make sure you don't lock up. Hit the apex. Honestly, maybe hit the curb too to rotate the car even more. But got to be careful on your rear end not stepping out right there. But yeah, coming through the S section right now. I'd say probably one of the. I just invalidated right there, and yeah, there's your case right there. But I was just gonna say probably one of the hardest but most satisfying piece of corners here on the game if you hit it correctly. But yeah, his lap will end short here. We got a Haas of Gru. Looks like he's up 1 second on his time. Definitely has some time to gain for him. Just finishing the S. Pablo, a 33.6, takes a 2/10 lead over Nick AC, jumps up to P1. Great lap by Pablo.
Yeah, Gru is making his way down this long backstretch here with the ERS flap wide open. He's at about 55% left on that ERS, making his way towards turn 12. He's going to top out at 201 miles per hour all the way down into third gear off the exit. Now he's going to go into the tricky sector of 3. He is 1.6 seconds up on his time currently. Into turn 15 he goes. Off the exit, uses all of that exit curb there. Now he's making his way through the triple right-hander here in sector 3, coming into the penultimate corner off the exit of turn 19. He's going to use all the exit he can into the final corner. Off the exit he comes. Is he going to get across the line with a 2.5 second improvement? And that's only good enough for P14.
Yeah, I mean, it's really close. He's about, what? If he gets 4 more tenths, he's P10. I mean, if he gets just a little bit more than that, he's P7. So, I mean, really close the field is right now through here. Looks like we have a Pablo, I believe, going to be diving into the pits to get his last set of tires on for his last lap. Waffle Raptor, though, coming around the last section here, last 2 corners. Got to make sure not to run wide to invalidate. Coming into the last corner, down to second gear. Make sure to get on the power early, but don't spin your back tires. Jumps up to P5. Good lap by Waffle Raptor right there.
Yeah, great lap by Raptor up into the top 5. SR Frame is coming through sector 3, gets really loose off the exit of turn 15, but he is making his way towards the penultimate corner now. Gonna come
Yeah.
off the exit of turn 19, and he's gonna actually dive right into pit lane.
Yeah. While SR Frame was coming around the track, Paul jumps up to P4 just right behind his teammate. ASAP Logie, also in the Mercedes, improved by about half a second and jumped up to P8. Right now, one Alpine in the top 10. Van Doot in P9. Angel still a little bit to go, but Angel usually keeps it clean in the race for the most part, so hopefully he can score some points today. But coming back to Red Arrow, looks like he's about to start his last lap, I'd say. Crisp Zip in the McLaren. He's also going to dive into the pits. I think everybody's coming to the pits. No, Red Arrow will be starting what is most likely his last lap here with about four and a bit minutes left. See if he can make his way around this Aston Martin nice and clean. Aston Martin goes off the track, gets out of the way nicely. But we'll see here coming through the S section. Got to cut it close, keep it clean. Sweeping left, right, left, right. Got to make sure your rear end doesn't come out on this last part of the S section here. Really hard to not overheat the tires. We'll see. Oh, I didn't even see his sector time. I didn't see how much farther he was up.
He was nearly 2 tenths up going into the hairpin of turn 11. Now he is going to come off it. He's going to cut that car all the way to the inside, open up the DRS flap. Thought he was going to get a slipstream, but I think that is going to cost him
Yeah, I think
time.
that loses more time than what you gain off that. Just cutting across the
Absolutely.
track. But I
Now,
think he probably thought the Ferrari was going to maybe try and give him a little bit more of a tow than that. But looks like a purple sector too. Red Arrow could be on a great lap right here. Last sector also going to make this track is very hard to not overheat your tires. You're just turning constantly. The only brake you have is that long back straight right there. Got to keep it in the long right-hander here. As you can see the Red Bull in the back coming down the hill of turn 1. Coming around the final corner now. Going to open DRS up right before he crosses the line. Gaining that little bit more time. Coming across the line. Only stays P5. Improves by about almost 3 tenths right there. Doesn't move him up a spot, though. That might be the end of his qualifying. As we got an Alpha Tauri coming across the line. Pablo, he's going to be starting his last lap as a Ferrari and a Mercedes are about to start their lap.
who's this McLaren?
Looks like it is getting pretty dark. Maybe some rain here at the end of the session.
So it looks like a majority of the people that are out on the track right now are all getting ready to start their laps. Although we do have who is currently on a lap making his way down this long back straight here. Got that DRS flap wide open heading towards turn 12. You're going to see a lot of passing into turn 12 today, and he's going to get back on the throttle pretty early on the apex, making his way through sector 3 now. I don't think he was actually getting improvement on his time, but we're going to stay on board with him as he's coming off the exit of turn 15, headed through the triple right-hander, or the triple right-hand apex, if you want to call it. into the penultimate corner of turn 19. Now he's going to make his way towards the final corner, opens up the DRS in about 100 meters. He's going to snap that open, crosses the line, and he puts himself half a second improvement up into P8.
Yeah, looks like Angel about to start his last lap in the LP and going to try and boost himself up quite a few spots. But Pablo coming across the line, he's going to improve on his pole time, a 33.379. Puts himself about 4/10 clear of Nick AC. Nick AC coming through the long right-hander right now. About 30 seconds left. He's going to start his lap. He'll be able to get it in, but it's going to be pretty close on time. So he'll definitely have one of the best surfaces on the track right there. With a McLaren of SR frame, he's on his lap actually. Going to jump up one spot on P6. That's the end of his quali. His teammate Chris Zip starting his lap. He has no time on the board right now. Pablo coming through sector 1. Oh, I forgot he's already finished his lap. Katie Dog, 7/10 up almost. Jumps up to P9. Two AlphaTauris on the top 10. Good qualifying from them. Looks like next to the line is going to be Whit J here in the Ferrari. 3 and almost a half tenths up. Coming through the long right-hander. Got to keep it clean. Cut it close. A lot of different lines you can take through there. Doesn't use a lot of the track on the outside right there. Definitely lost some time. Cuts it in close though. Good apex. Opens up the DRS to the line. Whit J, P8. Good qualifying for him. And here comes the Alpine of Angel. 6/10 up. That would probably put him around maybe P13, just right by his teammate. Last corner now. To the line. Yeah, right behind his teammate with a 35-1. Not bad for Angel. Red arrow, though. Crossing the line on his lap. He's gonna improve, or actually he's not. He's just gonna barely miss out on his PB, but Wolferaptor, P4, the two Mercedes crossing the line together almost. Gustavo, P17, ASAP Loggy, P12, not the greatest quality for them. We got a Williams, Nick AC crossing the line. Doesn't improve, so Pablo will be the pole sitter unless Paul comes out of nowhere. He is down on his time right now. We'll see where this puts him. Yeah, doesn't improve. P5 for Paul Zenke, the last driver. He's had quite a few qualities. I think he is not on his lap right now. Yeah, and there it is.
Yeah, there we have it for qualifying here at Circuit of the Americas. Very, very tight grid here. Um, besides Pablo up at the front, but from Nick AC all the way down is extremely tight. So it's just going to be a matter of effect of whether they can keep Pablo in the picture or if he is going to potentially drive away with the victory tonight here. But we're talking a second between P2 all the way down into the P13 position, with some guys all qualifying within, a tenth of each other, such as Nick AC and M1K.
Yeah, the new Red Bull driver, P19 for Rainbow Demon. Not a great spot you want to be, but honestly, if it's your first race, you don't know how people race, maybe it's best to just start in the back and make your way through. But yeah, we'll see if it's rainy for quali. I'm going to go get a drink real quick just so we're all ready. But we'll see if it's raining here.
Absolutely. And it looks like it's going to be full wet here. Potentially maybe intermediates here at Circuit of the Americas. So this is going to make for a very interesting race. I'm stoked to see how this is going to go. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know how everybody's feeling about tonight now with all this wet weather, but hopefully it's going to be something fun.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. Raining quite hard here. But if you guys haven't already, make sure to
Oh,
place your bets over
one.
under the time, but here
three,
we go.
4, 5 red lights, and the lights are go off to the races they are, and it appears Nick has gotten a decent jump. He's going to be pulling side by side with Pablo going into turn 1. Wisely chooses to back out. Waffle is going to let M1K go around the outside. A lot of action going on in the back. Whitjay with a 3-second time penalty already. Everybody is choosing to be on full wet tires here at the start of COTA.
Yeah, Whitjay already with a 3-second time penalty. I think he just cut turn 1 just to avoid the madness here. But Pablo stays P1. Looks like we have a spinner down in the background, and we have a VSC right here. Actually, I
Yeah,
believe so,
it
yeah.
looked like Easy 10. The Ferrari got into the back of frame and managed to put him around to the inside wall. So very unfortunate for frame as he has no front wing now.
Yeah, looks like our top 3 all got a good our top 4 all actually keeping position. Red Arrow moves up a spot on Paul. Zenke stays the same. Our biggest winner, Chris Zip, from basically the back of the grid up to P12. Good start for him, but VSC is back in. Looks like M1K is going to be making the move on Nick AC here. Just stay behind wisely here and make sure not to do any stupid moves. Settle into your position here in the rain. Maybe going to go for the move here. Nick AC with the slight snap. M1K down the inside. Going to get the move done. Good move by M1K.
Yeah, and Katie and Bandu battling for that P8 position as Whitjay dives down inside of Bandute there in turn 15, but Bandute managed to hold him off.
Yeah, looking on the pack, everybody else seems pretty clean. Looks like our top 6 actually going to be breaking away a little bit. Paul dropping back just slightly, going to be making his own train. Looks like Bandute battling with Katie Dog here. We have a McLaren off the line. Not even sure what's going on. Whitjay going to make the move on Katie Dog. Maybe going to look for Bandute down here into turn 1. Nobody going to send any dive bombs. Everybody's clean. But Red Arrow definitely wants to... it's not like there's really DRS, so it doesn't really matter how big the gap is, but you definitely want to keep it as small as possible so you can make your way back up to the leaders and fight with them. But yeah, 2-stop. Looks like maybe around lap 14 to 20 if you want to do the 1-stop.
Oh, and Chris Pip has gone around off circuit into the wall in sector 1, and that brings out a virtual safety car. It does not bring out a full safety car here. But yeah, it was in sector 1. It appears he just lost that car, and it shot him right into the inside wall. So very unfortunate for him here on lap 2 at COTA.
Yeah, we didn't see it. It's actually surprising that only brought out a VSC. That's already the second VSC of the race. So yeah, we'll see. Oh,
Drive-through penalties
what just
coming like
happened?
crazy.
Well, that was it was like somebody stopped on the track right there. I guess people didn't realize. If somebody can clip that in the chat, I want to see that again. I was kind of looking away, but yeah, it looked like someone stopped on the track. I don't think people really realized that their delta was so high. But yeah, I think 4 drivers just got hit with a drive-through, and it's our 4th through 7th, so our pretty high scoring positions here. We're going to have to serve a drive-through, but VSC in. Looks like Waffle Raptor is going to serve his drive-through straight away. Nick AC didn't get a drive-through, luckily for him. But Red Arrow, our driver in P2, Will Zenke, unfortunate 5-second speeding and pit lane penalty. It's not great for him, but Pablo and M1K trying to run away with this.
Yeah, that 5-second speeding penalty is not good for Zenke as he was serving his drive-through penalty, but it's just compounding problem on top of problem. As a shocker so far, as Zenke just actually drives extremely deep into turn 1. But the shocker so far is seeing SR Frame all the way down in that P18 position.
yeah, going back down the field, looks like we still have a nice little train from Katie Dog, the newcomer, to Grew in ninth right there. Bandut in P4 for Alpine. Going to look to hold the position, but our top four are pretty spread out. Nick AC kind of just in no man's land, trying to catch up back to the top two here. Um, but yeah, look how far our top three is compared to everybody else. Actually, Bandut's kind of in the middle of no man's land right there. Um, but yeah, everybody else kind of spread out.
Goes to show who came prepared for the rain, didn't come prepared. Circuit of the Americas is one of those tracks where you're expected some wet weather. Uh, Actually, more frequent than not. But yeah,
Yeah, not even really sure who to watch here. Everybody's in a train, but everybody's kind of spread out here. Nobody's, pardon me, nobody's really going for moves as Pablo pumps in the fastest lap, a 55.2. What is that, about 30 seconds off pole time right there? That really just shows you how much worse these conditions are. M1K, though, not too far behind. Still about, had a bad turn one right there. Actually lost quite a few tenths and is 1.2 seconds back now. But, yeah, I think the closest battle is P5 to P10. So, yeah, I guess we'll look back down here. We have a caution. Looks like it's also a McLaren. Looks like the McLaren and Angel maybe went around there, had some contact. They get going though. I don't think any damage for both sides, so that's good. But
it's been a pretty quiet race here, as unfortunately the wet weather does not give us much entertainment. But you know, seeing Katie up in the P5 position, great debut so far here in the AM3 division. Under pressure right now from Whitjay as we're making our way down the backstretch heading towards turn 12. ASAP logging with a 3-second time penalty. But into turn 12, Whitjay is not close enough to make a move. So
Jay
it's
going
going to
down into first in
continue.
the
Yeah, it's going
rain.
to
Oof.
look to the inside. Not going to be close enough into turn 13. But now we're making our way through 14 and 15 here in Sector 3. And it appears Katie is going to hold on to that P5 position for the time being as they're making their way into the penultimate corner. But you can see some people are definitely struggling in the wet weather and others are doing pretty well. As
Yeah.
Whitjay is now under pressure from Gustavo going into turn 20, as Gustavo is going to be looking for a great exit, but he's actually going to get a little bit of wheel span, and that does allow Whitjay pull away as they head up the hill into turn 1.
Yeah, it's actually quite interesting that Whitjay is going down in first and second in the rain here. Um, it's definitely giving him a lot of wheel spin and forcing him to not have good exits. As Katie Dog pulled a 1 second gap right there, but yeah, coming through the S's, 3 second time penalty. I believe that's 9 seconds already total for track limits drivers, and we're 5 laps in. Um, But yeah, Whitjay seems quick through this back straight. The S's seems like he catches back up here, but it seems like Katie has the better traction and everything under the third sector in the tight corners, as well as Gustavo.
Yeah, I mean, it could come down to a little bit of downforce too, you know, especially where's that downforce coming into play. Sector 3, you're definitely going to need a lot of downforce. In Sector 2, you need quite a bit. You don't need nearly as much. My apologies on that. But Paul and Helen Chipman side by side through turn 12, and Paul and Hell is going to jump into that P10 position as yeah, I mean, the rest of the grid, other than that, is really kind of separating out. Everybody's falling into position here, but still a good battle for that P5 position.
Yeah, Whitjay still looking for the move. Gustavo was in the same exact spot just about a lap ago. Looks like Katie had a little bit of a moment here, but these three really close to each other. Let's see if we'll get a move down this straight. All these drivers have quite a lot of battery. Katie's the only one under 90%. Whitjay. Katie might have had a moment on the exit. Whitjay gonna use his battery, probably gonna dive down the inside here. Katie breaks later. Did Katie go too deep? No, Whitjay with the inside line. Katie will just sweep around side, have the more momentum, and keep the position. Good defending by Katie there. Looks like, yeah, Whitjay really does not have the straight line speed, surprisingly, because he was using his battery, but Katie was just pulling away right there.
Yeah, Katie was definitely able to defend pretty well going into turn one. And Gustavo almost took advantage of that fight and was able to make a move on Whitjay, but Whitjay was able to defend him off going into the S's as they're making their way down the hill into the hairpin of turn 11. Let's see if we're going to have any moves going down the long backstretch here, as it appears that Chipman trying to get himself into this picture as well. Waffle Raptor all in the picture here.
Yeah, here
But
comes Wolf.
Witche is gaining, going down into turn 12, not close enough to make a move. And Gustavo's not going to be looking to make anything there. But Waffle Raptor went a little deep going into turn 12 and is going to fall back into that P8 position.
Yeah, looks like all this fighting between Katie and Whitjay has brought Raptor even closer, as well as Gustavo. All these guys looking for a move. Goose had a little bit of a moment on the exit onto the long back straight there, almost leaving him vulnerable. But these drivers aren't using their batteries, so when they really need to defend, they can just use their entire battery and gain it back in just a little bit with the rain helping them. But these four drivers really close to each other right now. Looks like Whitjay might be looking for another move right here. I don't think he's close enough. Coming down the field, yeah, Walther not close enough as well. Got to stay behind. Whitjay maybe gonna look for the move down
Oh! What happened there? Looked like Gustavo got rear locking turn one and Waffle Raptor got into the side pod.
I did not see that on my screen. It looked like Waffle was nowhere near, but two drivers just get hit with a 3-second right there. So 6 seconds, so 9 plus 6, 15 seconds total already, and we're only 7 laps in. If you bet the over, you'll definitely feel pretty good. Oh, 18 seconds. Penalties just
Yep.
flying in. Zenki was in the middle sector of the S's, like we said earlier. But maybe what you saw on your screen was correct, because Waffle Raptor is fallen behind Gustavo there a little bit. I definitely did not see that, but yeah.
As Nick AC did make the move on M1K, but M1K is going to be looking to fight back around the outside into turn 15. Potential switchback opportunity off the exit. But Nick AC is going to protect that inside and maintain that P2 position away from M1K here as we're making our way around turn 18 into turn 19 now, carrying our way towards the final corner of turn 20. I say about another 7 to 8 laps, and then we will start seeing pit stops come into play here. The track is not dry enough for intermediate, so at the time being, we will probably see some more full wets. But M1K is definitely not close enough to Nick AC making their way into turn one, as it appears Nick has opened up a 1 second gap and pulled away.
Yeah, Nick with the 1 second gap, but look at Pablo. Almost 7 second gap for Pablo there out in front. Rainbow Demon, 3 second time penalty, so 21 seconds in penalties already. Only about 14 and a half more to go. Safety car.
And we get a safety car. What
I think
happened
it's
there?
Angel. Angel and Rainbow Demon. Yeah, Rainbow Demon. No wing. Looked like maybe contact with Angel. We'll have to see clips later. But Rainbow Demon in their first race, no wing, brings out the safety car. Gonna kind of get a free pit stop. I assume everybody's probably gonna pit here.
Yeah, everybody will probably pit here, and they can most certainly bring their wet tires to the end of the Grand Prix. But very quiet race so far here. Wet weather. I did not expect a whole lot of action really to take place tonight if it was rainy weather. But I mean, other than that, we still got 18 of the 19 drivers alive. And looking at your biggest movers, we got Gustavo up 12 positions after starting from the back, and Bandu up 9 positions in that P4. We got Gru up 7, and then Starframe are both down 8, and Zenki is down 5.
Yeah, Gustavo with a great race, starting P18. He's up to P6 right here. No penalties for him. He has two people in front of him, so he's looking at a maybe a P4 for him if he keeps it clean and holds his position. Katie Dog, drive through penalties, speeding on the safety car. This Delta has really been catching drivers out. I think that's the 5th drive through that has been dished out to these drivers so far. But Pablo, in comes Pablo, and yeah, wets go on. Looks like it's gonna be wets. Hopefully towards the end of the race, maybe we'll get like a late safety car and the rain will clear up and we'll go to slicks, but only time will tell. But yeah, everybody diving in the pits. Whitjay, 3-second time penalty, 24 seconds in penalties.
Yeah, a lot of time penalties are starting to come through now, and they're not going to
Mm,
stop. It's very unfortunate. And E10 with a drive-through penalty.
6 drive
Um,
through.
Man, people got to pay attention to that delta time here as safety car is making their way through sector 1.
Another
In
one.
Easy 10 with another drive-through penalty. I don't think
Not
he's really paying attention down there in the P17 position.
yeah,
Probably just gave up at this
looks like
point.
yeah, where he is. Looks like the Delta's really messing with like he was almost fully stopped right there. I think yeah, I'm not sure. He's not gonna pit for new wets. But yeah, what is that? 7 drive-throughs total dished out, I believe. 2 for Easy 10 right there. His race is almost probably fully done right there. All the tires are wets. Oh, actually no, we have 5 drivers on inters. Paul, Red Arrow, Zenki, ASAP Loggy, and SR Frame. So maybe um, we'll have to keep an eye on those drivers. But here are the penalties. Katie Dog, 5 or drive through. I believe they have a 3-second penalty as well. Whitjay, 6 seconds in that Ferrari M1K, 3 seconds. Not ideal for him since he's up there in the front. But Zenki, 3-second. ASAP Loggy, 6-second. He's gonna hope to make these inters work and pull a nice big gap. Easy 10 with 2 drive-throughs and maybe some time penalties. But Rainbow Demon there in the back, 3 seconds. But yeah, honestly, I think we'll keep an eye on Paul here on the safety car restart once everybody catches up. We'll have one more lap, but we'll definitely see if he can make these inters work. It'll definitely be interesting.
Yep, we're still waiting on this safety car to go in. Only on lap 9, so not even halfway through here at Circuit of the Americas. But hopefully the back half of this race will be pretty quick here. Lap times aren't up due to the wet weather. Not really much action going on, not really much collisions going on. Everybody seems to be, pretty fair, clean racing, besides the ones that we did miss. Um, but yeah, so I mean, I'm glad AM3 seems to be having a good time here, although they're probably hating this wet weather.
Yeah, for sure. I think the safety car is gonna come in here no matter what, because I believe it's like 2.5 or 3 laps, and everybody else catches up. So, also think Rainbow will catch up in time, so that is good. But yeah, it'll definitely be interesting. It looks like there is a lot of spray. It looks like the rain may be quieted down just slightly. It's still raining, but it's not as hard as it looks like it was at the beginning. So these inters definitely may be maybe quite lucky here.
Yeah, those intermediate tires could come into play and actually pay off pretty well for Paul and Hell and Red Arrow. If I was these guys on wet, I might be shaking in my boots a little bit here at this point. To have those intermediate tires with this rain actually really dying down, you can start to see a dry line form a little bit. So maybe those intermediate tires will be good, even though we still got the puddles on the track. But
Yeah.
rain is starting to die off.
I think we'll get a late safety car call right here. Safety car looks to be slowing down quite a bit. Maybe we go again, though.
Yep, one more lap.
Could happen right here, though. Let's see. Nope. One more for the ride. I think Burnt Mylander is just having a good time driving in the rain here.
Oh yeah, only if he could drive a little bit faster. That's my only complaint about him. He's pretty slow for a safety car driver.
Yeah, right. He's taking safety to a whole new level.
Yeah. OSHA would be very proud of him.
Yeah. Everybody is caught up now. I wish they could take the COTA short layout right here and just cut across right here to come across
Broadcast mode.
the back straight.
What's your take on the fact that they will be racing China this week, and China is fully resurfaced?
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I don't think that I have ever since I started watching F1, I don't think I've seen an actual race in China. I did start in about 2019, so maybe. I can't remember. It was really long ago, but it is a sprint weekend, so it's definitely going to be interesting. The one annoying thing is that it will be at 3 in the morning. I hate this this first part of the season because there's like 5 races in a row where they're all at like 1 or later in the morning, so it's just rough, but we'll get through it.
Absolutely. They are about to hit the Sector 3 split line here, and safety cars should be coming in.
There it
And
is.
yes, race control is letting us know safety car in this lap, and Pablo Plays will be the one to lead us back to green as to start lap 12 out of 28, with Nick AC right on his tail looking to follow along.
Yeah, I think we'll go on board with Pablo here just to see the start of his start here. But then we'll go back to Paul to see how he makes those inters work. But yeah, we'll see his telemetry right here. See when he goes. Still waiting. Waiting. I think he's going to bring it even later towards the last corner. Going to try and get a good jump. And has it stopped raining? Oh, no, it's raining. It's raining. Okay, from broadcast, it looked like it stopped raining. But there he goes. He's got a good jump on Nick AC, and will Red Arrow 3-second time penalty. He is on inters. That will not be good. 27 seconds, I believe, as Paul already going to make the move on Gustavo. He will be the lead inters driver. He goes off. Maybe missed his braking point a little bit. Maybe it's the inters not working. Side by side with Gustavo. Going to back out. Not going to be able to hold it down the inside. Red Arrow as well on the inters right behind. And actually it looks like the inters are working pretty well. Going to keep with Gustavo right there on those wets. Pretty good. Not losing too much time, not gaining too much time. They kind of seem like they're right in the window of a crossover But Red Arrow right on the back of him. Going to maybe look for the move right here on Paul. Paul going to cut the corner a little bit. Not going to see his line. Red Arrow goes off track. Waffle Raptor down the inside of 2 cars. Not going to get the greatest exit, though. Only going to get 1 car off his move. Going to look for the move on Red Arrow after. But Paul going to be using his battery to try and get past Gustavo again. Down the inside. Gonna get the move done. Looks like Gustavo got dive bombed by Red Arrow as well. It's all kicking off back here. We'll see if Paul can really make his way back up here, but M1K all over the back of Nick AC here. Flat.
On the inside
Nick
of
AC.
turn 15.
Nick AC with a really big moment.
Yeah, and Waffle Raptor had him up to the turn 15. That allowed Zenki to maintain position, and then ASAP to get through. And Pablo sets the fastest lap on a set of wet tires.
Yeah, I was looking right there through that long right-hander. Nick AC had a very big snap, and it looks like we got some drivers diving into the pits. I think Paul really could have hit on this this strategy really good. He just has to get closer to Pablo so he has a bigger gap when Pablo comes out of the pits. We'll see what drivers are coming on real quick. Pause. Yeah, more drivers to the inters. ASAP Loggy, 3 seconds. 30 seconds in time penalties, I believe, give or take. So about 5.5 more to go, and we're not even halfway. Paul gonna look for the move on Whitjay here. See if he goes for the dive. No, gonna stay behind. Looks to get the better exit, and I think he'll get him right here. Look how much more speed he has around the corners right here. Gonna be using his battery. We're gonna look to get the move done on Whitjay right here. He moves out of the slipstream. It's just gonna fly right past Whitjay. Paul with a great strategy call here. Red Arrow as well. Not gonna try and follow Paul through here. Will try the dive though through here. Side by side with Whitjay. Not the greatest place to go for it, but Whitjay on those wet compound tires, I don't think they're good anymore compared to the Inters. So through goes Paul and Red Arrow there. They could be on a charge here.
Yeah, the intermediate tires are working their way through the grid, heading towards the front, as Paul is now within half a second of M1K, his teammate in front of him. And it looks like our leaders are all starting to jump into pit lane, get a new set of tires on as ASAP log in. Here comes the fastest laps coming across, and all these folks are on the intermediate.
Yeah, M1K got out of the way nicely for his teammate Paul. I just saw SR Frames at a 150, so we're already about 5 seconds quicker than what the previous fastest lap time was right there. Paul gonna look to get the move done on Nick AC here as quick as possible. Pablo dropped down to P9 on those inters, has quite a long way to go. I think Paul can definitely make these inters last. SR Frame 3-second time penalty, 33 seconds I believe. So the next penalty will bring us over the over mark if I counted correctly, but yeah, the inters could go to the end, but Pablo has a 5 lap differential on those tires. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Gustavo, M1K, and Nick still out on there. There you go. I think that was the last time penalty right there. So if you bet the over, congratulations.
A lot of moves being made down into turn 12 as Zenki got into the top 3, and Paul did overtake Nick AC for the lead. Now you got Zenki in that P3 position. Red Arrow right K was in P2. He is all the way down into the P7 position. He is going to be looking to get off of those wet tires though onto the, as your top 6, I believe, are all on intermediate. No, Nick AC is the only one on wet tires, and he's going to be looking to pit here now as we're getting ready to start lap 14. And Paul and Hell is going to be leading us up into turn one with a big gap here to P2.
Yeah, this might be the second race in a row where Nick AC's not even on the podium. But talking about that Katie dog, 48.9 newcomer, fastest lap, good for them. P8 for them right now. They do have a penalty, but Gustavo up 11 spots. ASAP Loggy up 8. Good for him. Our top, or not top 4, but 4 of our top 5 all have penalties besides Paul in P1. But safety car, easy 10, bins it around the long right-hander. I can only assume his rear end went out and he went into the right-hand wall. That is not very good for Paul. Paul would definitely have liked to keep his big gap for the rest of the race. Um, Luckily, though, everybody is pretty close together, so safety car should only be out for about 2 laps or so. If I were Paul, though, if you were Paul, would you pit again for a new set of inters if you had it to go to the end for sure? If
I
you know
had
that
it,
it's still gonna rain.
absolutely. I mean, there's quite a big gap between him all the way to the AlphaTauri, so there's a good chance he'd only lose
I think he would probably slot
positions,
in
but
right behind Bandu in P9.
yeah.
So on it, yeah. If you know that it's gonna rain for the rest of the race, I think that you should take it. Because your inters are already on 6-lap-old inters. So I guess we'll see what he does here. He should have at least one more set of the brand new inters. So we'll see what he does here. SR Frame with the 3-stop up in P5. Don't know how he's made that work. And Paul gonna stay out. Zenki as well gonna stay out. So Pablo and Nick AC, Whitjay and Waffle Raptor and Bandu are all gonna have the best tires on the grid for what seems to be like the rest of the race. Gustavo gonna be the last driver to pit from the wets onto the softs here. He'll drop to the back of the grid, but we'll have some fresh tires. So we'll see 16 laps in, more than halfway through now. But yeah.
Yep, lap 16 of 28, and we are under safety car, just waiting for the back of the grid to catch up here, and we will get back to green flag here. Yeah, we got Paul up in the front with no time penalty. We have Zinke all the way down two frame, all got time penalties with Pablo in that P6 position. Does not have a penalty. Katie with one in P7. Then Bandu, Gru, and Nick don't have one, with Jay with a penalty. Chipman, Waffle Raptor are clear so far. M1K has one. Gustavo is clear. Rainbow has one, and then is clear. Yeah,
Yeah.
all these folks with time penalties really are going to have their respected at the end here.
Yeah, the one good thing that's going for Paul, I'd say, is that one, he doesn't have a penalty, knock on wood. Don't want to jinx him. But two, he has 4 drivers behind him, all with penalties that he can hope will hold up Pablo enough to where he can pull out a nice gap and just keep pulling away from Pablo once he eventually gets up to him. Once their tires even out a little bit more. But yeah, I think Pablo's in a great spot. Bandu in a great spot with no penalty. Gru, great spot. Nick AC also in a chance for their Rainbow Demon. 5-second time penalty, speeding in the pit lane. Angel will also dive in the pits. This is also the last lap with safety car. I think we might only have one more safety car VSE for the race, and then we're done. This is the 4th one total, right?
I believe So
Thea Susan
yes,
and safety cars. So
so
yeah, one more.
hopefully we don't have to use it.
Yeah. But Angel and Rainbow Demon have about a lap to catch up here. So we'll see. Angel looks like he will catch up. Rainbow Demon, it will be close.
I feel that.
Yeah, it's been a long day.
Yep. Back
I
to work tomorrow.
yeah, luckily I have my day off tomorrow, but I went golfing today, and on the last hole, I I jumped out of the cart. Oh, I was standing on the side of the cart, and then I thought my friend was going to turn the golf cart a lot more than what he was going to. So I tried to jump out in hopes that I could jump out and run away, like, keep my momentum. But when I jumped out, my legs kind of just stood still, and I fell onto the concrete at quite a pace. But I'm good though. I felt kind of like a stunt person. It didn't even hurt, honestly. I didn't hit my head though,
No,
so that's a good sign.
you wanna know something?
What?
I didn't feel it.
You didn't feel it?
No, I didn't feel anything.
Good. All right, but here we go. Paul in the lead of the race, gonna look to finish on the top step for the first time this race, and he's going right here around the final corner. It's like he caught Zenke lacking just a little bit. Zenke really close though. Red Arrow P2 in the championship, looking to gain some points on Nick AC down there in P10. Paul gonna be clear for the first part of this lap. Looks like SR Frame gonna be defending the spot here. If I can get to him. Pablo trying to go around. Whoa, what?
What a wit J! Oh man, so Nick AC was chipping going into turn one, and next thing you know, Wit J comes flying through, overtakes them both, and then Nick AC takes that P9 position back from him off the exit of turn one. But yeah, Wit J was looking for a two for one into turn one.
Yeah, I think we'll go on board with Pablo here, see if he can make his brand new inters with no racing laps on him work. But SR Frame down the inside, maybe Broke Leg gonna try and make the move. I don't know if they made contact right there, but it was sure close. Pablo will keep the position, go look for the move now on ASAP Loggy in the Mercedes. This is pretty high up for him, I believe, this season. Probably would be his highest finish if he stays where he is. But Pablo, what is his camera angle? All right, Pablo gets the move done right here. I don't know why the game's showing me his cockpit view. Pause. But here we go. I guess we have to deal with it. Pablo, within that second Zenke 3-second time penalty. It's just getting worse for him, unfortunately. But Pablo, all over the back now of Red Arrow, 3/10 behind him. As looks like we got some moves in the back here. Angel going too wide through the last two corners with Gustavo. Gonna break late here for Angel. Stays behind. Paul, 2 seconds ahead. He's definitely enjoying this right now. Hopes Zenke and Red Arrow can keep Pablo behind for as long as possible so he can continue to grow his gap. The penalties are quite a lot. We'll bring them up here. 6, 3, 9, 3, 3, 3, 6, 6. Another one on the board, so 6 seconds for second and third. That will drop him down quite a lot. Bandu in a great spot. Maybe looking for a podium if he keeps it clean and moves up a few spots, but about 9 laps to go in this race. As SR Frame really close behind ASAP Loggy here. Gonna move to the racing line. Bro, why game? I hope F124 fixes better camera angles for spectating. But how you feeling about F124? Have you seen the leaks, quote unquote?
I already hate it.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we can't be too judgmental with it. I mean, it's the beta. I think quite a lot of stuff will still change.
Oh, Nick AC is unfortunately
Oh,
out.
looks like he had contact with Katie Dog, and our championship leader exits the race. Oh, and Whitjay and Whitjay and Angel were going too wide into the pits, and Whitjay will get a 5-second penalty for that. That was definitely interesting. Looks like a lot of drivers are pitting here, probably to new inters, I'd say. We'll bring that up. But yeah, our championship leader will not score points in this race. Going to be not on the podium for the second week in a row. Definitely Ooh. SR Frame and M1K, both on slick tires here. I'm not sure how that will work out, but it is. Oh, it just upgraded to a safety car. Okay, I thought it was a VSC still, but yeah, last safety car of the race with 8 laps to go. Maybe the drivers know something we don't, Johnny. Because it doesn't look like it's getting any drier out here.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's getting any drier in the rain. That's not stopped. But yeah, that's very strange from Frame and from M1K to be on a set of slick tires. I think that may have been a mistake. We will see when we get cross pit lane entrance this time.
I don't know.
So it looks like probably lap 22 is when we will get back to green flag.
Yeah, maybe 23 with Rainbow Demon being so far back. I feel like it maybe wasn't an accident though, because I feel like for SR Frame, you have to click to the mediums. I think it would automatically put you to the hards if you didn't have any, or no, because it would be like, yeah, used inters or something. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I think, especially with 2 drivers doing it, maybe it wasn't an accident, but yeah, Angel and Sticks gonna dive into the pits. He has no penalties, so I mean, he has a lot of places to gain if he just keeps it close to the main pack, makes his moves, doesn't get in any more trouble. And yeah, maybe can score some good points for Alpine here. But let's see what he goes to. He goes to a new set of inters.
And a front wing change.
Yeah, I think it was with that incident with Whitjay when they collided into the pit lanes.
And is that Katie on a set of slicks?
Yeah, Katie Dog, a set of soft compound tires.
That's gonna be rough.
Yeah, I mean,
Whoever's on slick gonna have no grip whatsoever.
yeah,
They're gonna struggle.
unless it looks different on their screen compared to ours. But yeah, for me and you, or for me at least, it looks pretty wet. It's still raining still, so.
Yeah, and even then Katie's just struggling already.
Yeah, here, let's go on board with them, I guess. Won't get too much of a sign, but we'll definitely see. But yeah, actually, safety car. Good call, Johnny. Safety car should be in this lap. Last one, so no more safety cars or VSCs, I believe, for the rest of the race. And man, AM3 might be trying to set a world record for the amount of penalties this race. I don't even know how many collision penalties, or man, yeah, like drive-throughs, 5 seconds, speeding. It's not been great for AM3, but Chipman with a nice big gap to Bandute. I'm not sure what's going on here. It's like waffle past Chipman here. Gonna catch back up, but here we go. No more safety cars, just racing from here on out. And Paul is waiting. And he's going to go off the last corner. And here he goes. Off goes Paul. Going to try and have Zenke defend off Pablo for as long as possible. Pablo really close to Zenke here. Pablo going to not go for the move here. That's actually pretty surprising. I thought he would want to go for it. And the Haas's side by side. Gru. A red arrow. Going to try and get past Gru here. Gru going to try and hold back the team, the people, so red arrow can make way. Gustavo, no penalties for him. P5, maybe looking at a podium here. Yellow flag. Looks like we have a Haas of Gru off. No more safety cars for VSCs though, so that's his race probably done and dusted right there. Angel, 3-second time penalty, unfortunately for him. That's his first penalty of the race. But this top four really pulling away here. Katie Dog, 3-second time penalty on those softs. We will go with SR Frame here on those slick tires compared to everybody else. Looks like he's not actually losing, surprisingly. It looks like he's actually about to look for a move here on one of the Mercedes. Both the Mercedes right by each other. It actually almost brakes at the same time as everybody else. Gonna try and do the switchback on Gustavo. Can't actually. This is quite surprising.
Yeah, very surprising to see Frame back these guys here on slick tires. I'm shocked to see how much grip he has.
Yeah, he's flat out right there. Like, yeah, through here you can really tell, but through those slow speed corners, he was really keeping up right there. But Red Arrow actually got Zenke and Pablo, so Red Arrow really on a charge here. Red Arrow does have, I believe, at least 6 seconds in penalties. So his chances at a podium aren't looking great, especially if Gustavo can come close, maybe pick up the first podium for Mercedes this season in AM3. But Paul, on those 14-lap-old Inters, has 11-lap older tires than Red Arrow. So, but who just got a speeding pen, pit pen? Gru?
I don't know. I've lost track of reading at the top of my
3-second time
screen.
penalty. Yeah, I think there's no doubt about the overhitting. So at least we don't have to go to the race director there. But it's really crazy. M1K, who's had these guys on 2 and 3 lap old Inters aren't passing the guy on slicks, and SR Frame getting the better exit than Gustavo here and gonna make the move. Actually, it doesn't look like it's raining anymore. The puddles are slowly going away, so Bandute in a great position though for Alpine to score some good points. But maybe, just maybe, SR Frame made the right call. I don't know if it'll be enough though with how many laps left and his time penalties. But Red Arrow right on the back of Paul in hell.
So I just went through and calculated the time penalty. Take a guess how many seconds there
Paul,
are.
wait, Paul going into the pits. Is Paul going to be going for slicks here? Red Arrow fastest lap right here. And Paul, let's see what he goes to. SR Frame on the mediums retires. M1K retired. 2 of the top drivers here. Paul on the soft tires. Going to try and go to the end here. Like I said earlier in the race, no more safety cars from here on out. But Paul, now that the track is dried up, 4 laps to go. I don't know if Paul made the right call here. Keep in mind, Paul does have no penalties. So, I mean, it depends. How far? Here, let me see how far back he is from the leader. Paul is 20 seconds back from the leader. We'll actually keep this up right now to see how quick he pulls in. But Katie Dog, though, now sets up nicely with, that's actually crazy. 2 McLarens, Nick AC, our championship leader, one of the Ferraris in M1K now. M1K and SR Frame collided. We didn't see the incident, but we can only, imagine. It's like Zenki's gonna look for the move on ASAP Loggy or Bandu in P5, no penalties for him, and it's looking really dry. Would these guys try and stick it through? It looks like Paul's only gained about 2 seconds. Actually, yeah, Paul is cooking.
Paul's definitely going to be cooking here. He does have the undercut on everybody if they do decide to box this time by. If not, I think Paul has a pretty good shot at even.
Red Arrow doesn't pit as well as Pablo. Yeah, I think these guys are going to try and go to the end. This track is really dry. Zenki cuts it really close to the pit lane wall. Going to be diving into the slicks. That's going to be good for him. Bandu's going to continue. Katie Dog on those soft tires. Going to jump up to P5. Going to look for some good points on her or his, I'm not sure, on their debut. But Paul has gained about 5, give or take, seconds to the leader, and just his outlap alone on those slick tires.
He's going to be able to catch him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we'll go on board with Paul. Here, it'll definitely be nice to see Paul talk to him as a winner now instead of a P3 merchant, as some would say, with, I believe, what is that, 4 P3s or 3 P3s?
I think 3.
So he'll definitely be very happy here. So he's going to get the move done on Gustavo here. He'll open the DRS. Going to fly by Gustavo. Pablo actually passed. Red Arrow and Pablo battling here. Pablo has the lead right now. Red Arrow looking for the switchback. Going to maybe look for the dive here. And these guys fighting is just going to bring Paul even closer. Katie Dog slowly but surely catching up to these leaders here. Surely they pit here to try and save some positions. But Paul really kind of leveled out, actually. He's only gained about 2 seconds on his full first lap with those soft tires. If he keeps it up like...
he's still coming.
Yeah, it's going to be really close, though. 2 laps to go here. Katie Dog. Ooh! Red Arrow breaks really late. That's going to leave Pablo a really big lead right here. Red Arrow, no more DRS. That's really going to hurt him here. It's just going to fall even further back now without the DRS. But we'll go to penalties just to see. And Paul right now, I believe, is going to be at least P2, almost guaranteed, because the drivers in front of him 6, 9, and 6 seconds. So Bandu and Gustavo looking really good here. Bandu and Goose still on the intermediates. Katie Dog jumps up into the podium spots as of now. Just for right now, though. Rainbow Demon, 3-second time penalty. Is Paul right on the back of Katie Dog here. Both drivers on the slicks. First driver Paul has had to pass on the slicks. Yeah, Katie with a really good strategy. Hopefully her penalties don't affect her.
Yeah, Paul is 4/10 off the back of Katie, nearly getting into the back of her going into turn 20. Gonna have DRS up into turn 1. Meanwhile, chasing down the 2 leaders here that do, Red Arrow, Pen, and Pablo as well.
Yeah.
Up in front, he's also on intermediates, but you could definitely tell that the slick tires have a huge advantage at this point.
Now this could get really interesting because however long it takes Katie or Paul to get past Red Arrow here could give Pablo just that little bit more of a gap, like especially through here with Red Arrow really slowing the pack down. As Angel joins back, he is in the points scoring positions, but he does have that penalty. But Bandu, no penalties, surely going to score points here as Katie hits the back of Red Arrow here. And Katie now on the charge for the leader, and Pablo plays. And Paul is going to have to get past these guys relatively quick. Red Arrow down the inside. Katie and Red Arrow hits. This is going to let Paul through. Paul goes off the track. Almost gets spun around by Red Arrow. Spins Red Arrow around. I'm not sure who was at fault here. Paul. What is he doing? Paul just sort of stopped right there. And just almost surely gave Pablo the win right there. I'm not sure what he did right there. But Zenki now right on the back of Paul. Paul gonna finish maybe P2 here. So Zenki gets another 3-second time penalty. And Katie looking right around for her teammate. Gonna go around the outside into the S's. Pablo just gonna let her by. And Pablo gonna try and keep DRS so he can pull even farther ahead of Paul. It's gonna be close now between these two. Battle for the win here, actually. Maybe him slowing down. Yeah, looks like actually Paul will get Pablo after a crazy thing. Maybe we'll see if there's an incident reported as he hits the back of Pablo right there. Pablo, though, into this last sector. Let's see if he can park the bus. Paul going for a really big dive. Gonna cut the corner a lot. It's really gonna hurt his exit here. Down the inside, goes into the back of Pablo. I don't think he can make the move like that. I think that might be a penalty coming his way. Maybe he can pull enough, though, to keep the position after his penalties applied, as he already almost has 5 seconds, or 2 seconds on Pablo. Oh, and Paul! Karma might have got him there. 3-second time penalty for Paul. He will win right as of now. Where does Pablo come across the line? Pablo, P2. I think Pablo only finishing half a second behind, but I think if Pablo reports that, I think Paul might get a penalty.
Yeah, I think so too.
But there you have it. Paul, as of now, wins the race. His first win of the season. If it stays, Pablo, P2, and Katie Dog will get a P3 after a crazy strategy call right there. Zenki, P4, and Alpine, big double points scoring for their first points of the season. P5 and P6. Congrats for them. Red Arrow, the driver in P2, doesn't gain as much on Nick AC as he would like, but I think Pablo might jump Red Arrow in the standings and come even closer to Nick AC, but man, it got really interesting at the end there.
Indeed it did. Very interesting there at the end here at Circuit of the Americas. And on the podium you can see Katie, Pablo, and Paul and Hell there on the top step. Go through the results one more time here. We got Paul and Hell on the top step, Pablo in P2, Katie in P3, Zenki 4th, Bandu 5th, Angel 6th, Red Arrow 7th, Waffle 8th, ASAP 9th, With J 10th, Gustavo 11th, Chipman 12th, Rainbow 13th, Groove 14th, M1K 15th, SR Frame 16th, Nick AC 17th, Easy 10 18th, and Crisp Zip is 19th.
Yeah,
So,
let's see if we can get our podium scorers in here. Let's see if we have people join this week, Johnny, as nobody really joined last week.
And that's okay.
Yeah, it's just me and you.
Exactly.
All right, let's see if we can get these guys in. Add Paul, Pablo, and Katie. All right, Paul, Pablo. I don't think Pablo will join. I don't think Pablo usually joins, but that's all right. All right, invites are out. Excuse me. So we will go to, I guess, yeah, the driver's standings to look at it. Nick AC, no points for him. Angel, or Pablo actually 20 points behind, so I don't think Pablo will pass Red Arrow, but he will be really close to him. So it looks like we have a joiner. See if we can get anybody else in here before we start. All right, well, I guess we will start then. It seems like Katie Dog, congratulations on your P3, I believe. I'm not sure if this is your first race. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that strategy call right there to go on the softs, it didn't seem like it was good at first, but it definitely paid off.
Yeah, this was my first race in AM3. I did an AM2 as a reserve, but that one didn't go too well. But yeah, I had about like 6 seconds in penalties, so I was like, might as well try going on the softs because I heard that the rain was going to end in about 5 minutes. So I was like, might as well try on the softs, and it ended up working out after the rain stopped because nobody else really wanted to pit. Yeah, the penalties made it made it so I wasn't going to be able to finish first, unfortunately. But I will take a P3 any day.
Yeah, there might be some penalties applied at the end there, so you never know. Maybe you'll jump up a spot or two, but yeah, congratulations on your P3 right there.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's really nothing from me. My strategy call definitely played out for you at the end there. I mean, were you, besides that, were you just hoping once you got by Pablo, he would be able to hold up the rest of the grid behind you so you could take the victory?
Yeah, I was 6 seconds in penalties, so I wanted to get. I don't remember who was whoever got first, or I think it was, or with Jay or something. They didn't have any penalties, so I was hoping I could get 6 seconds away, but like it was almost impossible to do that on the final lap. But I'm still happy with the result.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, congratulations on your podium finish. I don't think we have any else in here. We do not, so I guess we will go close this up mindset. So in the meantime, folks, this is Contest of Speed AM3 tomorrow afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 p.m. UK time. EU2 will also be taken on Circuit of the Americas here in Austin, Texas, and then 9 p.m. Eastern Time. AM2 will be taking on Circuit of the Americas. Um, Going into Thursday, you will have EU1 in the afternoon and Thursday night at the same time. In the meantime, I am the Damon. Alongside me tonight is Cost Mindset. We had a pleasure to commentate for the AM3 division, and we want to wish you all a great night and hope you all enjoy yourselves. And congratulations once again to the top three podium finishers, and we will see you next week.
Peace.
Yeehaw.